Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Every Day is Friday, the show where we dive into the stories and experiences from people from all walks of life. Today, we are joined by Jayden, a young entrepreneur who achieved financial freedom at just 19. He runs a successful marketing agency, he's served in the military, and lives life of full of adventure. Let's jump in. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. For the listeners who may not be familiar with your line of work yet, could you give us a quick rundown of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Jayden. I started the entrepreneur journey at like 17. After like different fast food jobs and like several failed businesses, me dropping out. I needed something to do. I found copywriting. You're essentially a salesman with words. So anything that involves emails, writing on websites, writing even scripts for videos. I started as that. I started as a copywriter, working for different brands, different people selling info products and coaching. And then I eventually branched off from being like a full on like head of marketing for different brands. So it's an amazing experience.
No, I really do enjoy everything you're doing and everything. And your Instagram bio says, "If not now, when?" What does that
Brother,
phrase mean to you?
brother, I want to show you something really quick. Actually,
Go
I have
for
it
it.
tatted on me. I have it tatted on me. Uh,
Do you really?
if not, if not now, when? Right there. Oh, it's a quote I hold dear to me. It basically symbolizes everything I believe in as like for life and as a person. I forgot. I heard. I don't know if you're familiar with Ben Bader.
No, not really.
But I heard Ben Bader say that quote, and then I looked up the original quote, and like that quote was stuck in my head for like 3 weeks. So I tattooed it on me to stop procrastination. Actually, so if not now, when? It just basically I don't know what it means to other people, but to me it always meant kind of go for it, take the opportunity, whether that means starting the business, asking the girl out, hitting the gym for the first time, doing something you're nervous about, taking that test you're nervous about, whatever it may be in life. If not now, when? If you're not going to chase it now, then you're never going to do it. So it helps me stop procrastination every time I catch myself like slacking off or maybe not doing something to the fullest. 'Cause I'm a big fan of doing everything at 100%. I look down my ankle at the tattoo. If not now, when? I tell that to myself and I just fucking just go for it. So
Yeah, how does it help guide your decisions?
yeah, in a lot of ways, there's been so many times where I was so nervous, like, oh, like this business call is like, oh, it's so nerve wracking, or like on the military side of things. Um, Before I did some like really hard training that I was like kind of nervous about not passing or something, I would kind of write myself a note congratulating myself for already passing it. So if I had like this hard training event, like when I tried to pass my infantry school, we had like this culminating event that was like really hard. So I wrote a note to myself congratulating myself for already making it. And I kind of set that into stone. So now it's just like, all right, now I got to actually do it. Like I can't procrastinate anymore. I wrote myself a congratulation note for something I didn't even accomplish yet. So now I got to go fucking do it. So I kind of use that in the military. I use that as an entrepreneur and I just use that in life, just in life in general.
No, this mindset shows that the power of taking action.
Exactly. It's amazing, man. You just kind of fail your way forward, honestly. Like it's more so like not figuring out what works, but figuring out what doesn't work, and then by process of elimination, just taking action, you'll figure out what works. Any field of life.
Yeah, I resonate with that because my dad has this quote. He tells me, "Do today because you do not know what tomorrow will bring."
Exactly, exactly.
And
It's an amazing point. I love that.
yeah, I
God's a
mean
wise man.
it's yo, it's so wise, and it's lessons that everyone can apply. Really,
Right.
can you tell us a little bit about the moments when you decided to leave your fast food job?
Okay, that was a great moment. Actually, it's an amazing story. So I was making music at the time. I got like $500 from a song. I also had one copywriting client that was paying me $100 a month, basically slave labor. And I was sitting. I had this beat up car. I was 17. I've already dropped out at this point, and I'm sitting on my break. It's like a Tuesday, and I'm sitting in my car on my break, and then I see like these. It's like right by a highway. I see these fast ass cars. I don't know what they were. But they're like super cars or sports cars racing by me at like 1 p.m. on a Tuesday, and I'm like, I know for a fucking fact these people are not working a goddamn kitchen job, and it just absolutely pissed me off. I was outraged. I was like. I cannot go back into that building. I'm sitting there in my car. I'm like, I cannot go back in my building. So I go back into the building. And I'm like, telling my fellow workers, I'm like, yo, like these guys drove a fast car. Like, what if we had that? And there's like, oh yeah, and just go like flipping the fucking patty. And I'm like, okay, I need to get out of this place. I need to go. I don't care if I'm homeless. I don't care if I'm under a bridge. I need to get out of this place. So I quit literally the day after. I called my boss and was like, I can't do this anymore. And that's when reality set in. I was like, okay, $500 from a song, $100 from copywriting. That doesn't cover rent. So I basically was like, I had to break my lease in my apartment, and then I had to call my mom and be like, yeah, mom, I didn't really work out. So I ended up joining the military. It looked like a great opportunity. I kind of needed somewhere to go, and it looked like great discipline, great experience, and like pretty badass. So yeah, the moment was just honestly a little bit of anger and frustration seeing people have what I don't have. And I didn't want to be the dropout flipping the patty anymore.
No, I like that a lot. I mean, Jayden, how did you first get into the idea of starting a marketing agency?
That's a great question. So I just went through a lot of different business models. I tried drop shipping, as probably everyone does at one point, and then that didn't work for me too well. And then I tried to understand crypto at the time, and I was like, I don't fucking understand this shit, and like I don't have hundreds of dollars to invest. I needed a business model that didn't take a lot of startup capital and allowed me to like literally start with like nothing except reading a couple books and knowledge. So copywriting was that for me. I noticed it was like one of the only business models that didn't take capital to start. It's a skill that we all relatively have. We all wrote in school. We all went through English class in school. So with that, a little bit of AI and some grammar like correction, you can actually like start copywriting within 3 to 4 months of starting it. So it was the absolute best business model. And copywriting just kind of opened the door for overall marketing. Like I'm looking at running a sales team, running all the setters and the closers for a guy I'm working with right now, and I'm building his entire sales funnel. So it eventually branched off from just copywriting, but copywriting kind of got my foot in the door because I didn't want to spend money to invest in stocks or crypto. I didn't want to spend money on ads for drop shipping. I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I didn't have a lot of money. So if you're, that 17, 18-year-old kid and you're trying to start out as an entrepreneur, copywriting, marketing, high ticket sales, anything that involves a sales funnel, just gain the skill, approach people, work for free to start out, and you'll get your foot in the door. It's an amazing, in my opinion, the best business model.
No, it's really inspiring. I mean, to see how you turned like a challenge into an opportunity.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, what steps did you take to launch your business?
So it first started out, I bought a couple courses online on how to become a copywriter. And I didn't really see the big picture of marketing yet. In my mind, I was like, okay, I'm writing words that sell. So I just got to figure this shit out. Okay. So I started texting people like you probably get these all the time. Hey, I'm a copywriter. I'm actually an email expert. I'll write your emails for you. Just pay me like $5,000 of some obnoxious, crazy shit. And I just started texting people, offering stuff that I didn't even really know what I was offering. I was like, hey, so I started DMing people, and I got beginner's luck. My first month, I landed a client for like $100 a month. He pretty much exploited me, but dude, like I hopped on a business call. I was stuttering. It was horrible. And I closed one for $100. I called my mom and I was like, Mom, like I just had a business call. Like I made money. It's $100, but I made money. And I'm like tripping out. I was so excited. And so yeah, it just honestly started by like not really knowing what the hell I'm doing. I didn't even see the big picture of marketing. I don't even think I understood what a full funnel even was. I didn't understand ads. I didn't understand a lot of things, but more so just like I didn't want to waste 4 years in college. So I just took it head on, and I failed a bunch essentially.
Yeah, it's stacking those small wins on top of each other that make that big, win happen. I mean, your journey
Exactly.
proves that success isn't where you start. I mean, what was the hardest part of running a business at such a young age?
I'd say the hardest part was especially like you gotta kind of cut some things loose. Like I personally, I'm completely straight edge. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't vape, I don't indulge in any of that. And it is extremely hard because at my age, especially being in the military, all your peers are doing that kind of stuff. And although it looks fun, like if you look at my like wall right now, it's minimalist as fuck. Like I don't have any lights, no flash, anything. I just got my business ideas and my goals on a whiteboard in my bed. That's not made. My apologies, but I'm living very minimalist right now. That's how I prefer to live. If you look at my Instagram, it doesn't look that way, but like Instagram's just the highlights. But a lot of people look at my Instagram and I want to be like Jayden. I've had friends from back home. I want to be like you, bro. And it's like, cool. Are you willing to sit in a room like this for 8 hours straight on the computer? You're starting the podcast. You probably dealt with the same thing. Like, are you willing to sit down and grind? Like, so
Yeah,
that's
overnight success is 5 years of work.
Exactly. Like I'm not anywhere near where I want to be. I was in Miami a few days ago, and I'm in the back of my Uber, and I'm looking at the Miami skyrise, and I'm like, I want an apartment up there one day. The Uber driver's like, yeah, man, that's gonna cost you like $4,000 a month to even start. And like, I don't have the money right now to pay for that, but like that's a dream, at least before like 25, you know.
Oh, I know what you mean. Can you share a big win or a moment that you've had with your business?
Absolutely. So, I say my biggest win was after months of outreach. I mean, I was outreaching for 4 months straight to different businesses. Nothing was really working my way. I was kind of like A/B testing different outreach methods. And my very first win, a buddy of mine named Robert, you know him as well. Great guy, killing the YouTube game right now. And he was probably my biggest client I've worked with until that point. And when I first approached him, he wasn't really down for it. I guess he didn't really understand what I was offering. So it took me like reaching out to him 4 to 5 times, and he eventually took me up on my offer. I knocked it out of the park, went above and beyond, made some amazing work for him. And although the pricing and everything wasn't my ideal situation at the time, I wasn't worried about the quick, easy cash up front. I was looking at the ROI for the whole situation, looking past, not past Robert, but like more so like, where can this relationship bring me? And Robert caused me to have two more clients. He referred me to two more clients. Those clients referred me to more clients. And it's quite literally just like a teardrop system of one client that maybe you work for free or maybe you work for a very small amount you're not happy for. Or if you just over deliver, which is going to suck at first, you don't want to put extra work in for what you're getting paid, but that's what it takes. And once you do that, it's just a teardrop system, client. And now I've matched my military income. Like I make more than what I make in the military now at 19. And I have almost 3 years left of my contract for the military. So I can only imagine what like 3 years from now is going to be in terms of wins. But I'd say definitely my biggest win was the smaller job that led to the bigger stuff later on as like a chain reaction. So,
No, that's great. I mean, what has serving in the military taught you about leadership?
dude, so many things because you move a lot faster in the military for sure. Like if it's civilian life, civilian jobs, people don't move as fast. And I feel like almost it's like a lot of times I'll be on my computer and then something's frustrating me business wise. I'm like, at least I'm not sleeping outside under a tarp. At least I'm not hiking 70 miles, getting thrown in the ocean with a huge pack on, or like all the crazy stuff I've done in the military. It's like, uh, I'd say it's helped me as an entrepreneur because it helps me appreciate how like in a weird way easier entrepreneurship is to doing training in the military. So it's helped me appreciate business side of things and making me a better leader. I think people management for sure, because I mean, although like I've only been in the military like a year and a half, so I'm not the highest rank or highest billet I could be right now. So definitely my leadership time in the military it's been very short because I haven't been in that long. But from the leaders that I look up to in the military, the people who are like in charge of me, just great people management skills. Because every single decision you make, you gotta think about how it impacts everybody else, how someone else is gonna feel. And like me, from a business standpoint, if I have people who work under me for my marketing agency, every decision I make, everything I post online, everything I say will directly affect them, and also my client as well. Like you got to have the leadership skills to make critical decisions that affects everyone. Because if I write the wrong thing on someone's website, I'm taking food out of their family's mouth by just writing the wrong thing. Like, and I think it relates to the military. People's lives are in your hands by being a leader. And on the entrepreneur side of things, people's livelihoods are in my hands because I'm literally helping run their business for them. So it's helped in that sense. I feel a lot less stressed in big situations just because I've been through so much stuff with the military.
Yeah, what does your typical day look like right now?
A typical day, I'll usually wake up around 5 a.m., 5:30. I'll PT with the military, so we'll do like some kind of physical training, whether I sit in the gym, running with like a log or like running 3 miles, whatever that may be for the day. After that, I'll usually come shower. I'm not a big breakfast guy. I'm a coffee guy. I have my coffee already being made for me while I'm out doing my PT. So I come back, I have a coffee, I check the analytics, check the business, check up on clients, get as much work done until I get a text saying, hey, we're doing XYZ today. I'm personally in the infantry, so we'll usually be doing some kind of gun drills, some kind of skill about our job, about our weapon system. And then once that's done, maybe we'll have a couple classes. And military wise, I'm usually off work 2 p.m., 1:30 p.m. and then I have that rest of that time block. Like I don't play video games, I don't watch movies, I don't do a whole lot besides focus on making money. So second I'm off at 1:30 p.m., 2 p.m., I'm on the computer checking on clients, getting work done, and just trying to make the cash, man.
No, that's great. I mean, how do you stay motivated juggling so many responsibilities?
No, that's a great question. I think my motivation is like I don't want to go to college. I don't really like, although I love the military, it's been great. I don't want to do 20 years in the military. My motivation is suffer now these next 3 years. And by the time I get out of the military at 22 years old, maybe I'm not the millionaire yet, but I'll be financially free. Like 15 to 20K a month won't be a stretch to say I'll have that. So my motivation is suffer now and then enjoy it later. And it doesn't really stress me because I love being an entrepreneur. Like I love the smile on people's faces when I create something good for them. I love creating value to the world because I only work with people. I only work with brands that I like what they're selling. So I know that not only am I helping my client, I'm helping a mass group of people by persuading them to buy something that will actually benefit their life. So I enjoy it. It doesn't feel like work. People ask me that all the time. It's like, you're always like so focused on work. Go out, have fun, like go party. Like I hate clubs. I hate that whole scene. Like I enjoy work. That's what I want to do. Like I'm not really looking for like the light at the end of the tunnel. I just want to keep going down the tunnel until I die. Honestly, like I love it. So
No, something we say in
motivation's
the
not hard for
no, it
sure.
isn't. As long as you, I was to say something we say in the show a lot is go chase your dreams because your dreams will not chase you. And I mean,
Exactly.
hearing what you do is just staying on the grind no matter what. And you're not getting distracted and you're disciplined. That's the big thing that you do.
Right.
I mean, do you travel a lot? I mean, how does traveling inspire you in your personal growth?
Yeah. No, I love traveling. I'm going to Japan this year in like 7 months, so that's gonna be a great experience. Yeah, I love traveling. Like, I was in Miami like 3 days ago. I fly back and forth between North Carolina and Texas quite often. I was living just north of San Diego for like 8 months, probably like half a year ago. So I've had my fair share of traveling around the U.S. and I love it. You meet new people, and I don't think I'd have as much success as an entrepreneur if I haven't met the people I've met. Like, I got connections in California, I got connections in Texas. I know people in North Carolina. I know people in Florida, and you diverse. There's so many people you can call. Like, your phone is like the most powerful weapon you have as a person, and the more people you have in your contacts list, whether they're rich or just they're just as same income as you but the same mindset, both are super important. And I have a friend from several different states I can call at any time. So traveling just opens that up so much.
No, it's incredible how networking can help you in your career. I mean, what advice would you give to someone at your age that feels stuck in their career right now?
Right. I'd say if you feel stuck in your career, the first thing you should do is quit. I think strategically quitting is probably the best decision. I've quit so many things, and right off the bat, a lot of people are gonna disagree. Oh, like no, quitting's bad. Like don't be a quitter. I totally agree, but if something's not serving you towards your long-term goal, you're just wasting your time by not quitting. If you're in a job right now and you feel stuck and you feel lost, the first thing I'd do is quit. Obviously, don't leave yourself homeless under a bridge or anything, but open that door up to quit. I had a friend of mine recently who was telling me he wasn't really happy with his job. He wants to start his business. And I was like, if you want to start your business, you got to quit your job. This job was having him work like away from home for like a month at a time. And I was like telling him, I was like, this job is, you don't want to make a career out of it. It's not serving you. Quit, dude. Like, there's nothing wrong with quitting. People will say, oh, you quit that fast food job. Congratulations. Like, good on you. But if you quit a college degree that you realize you don't want to do, people will put like a bad stigma around it, which has always confused me. It's like strategically quitting. So I'd say strategically quit, get rid of what you don't want to do, and get away from your hometown too. Like, if you're feeling stuck, if you're in your hometown, you're with that same high school 6 out of 10, you're with your friends from back home or smoking weed, doing fuck all, and it's like, dude, like leave your hometown, go to a different city, meet new people, and find what you're passionate about. Whether that's music, content creation, you want to be a plumber, you want to be a basket weaver, whatever you want to do, man. Just strategically quit what you don't want to do. Take some time to find what you're passionate about, what you want to actually accomplish and like tackle in life, and then go do that. Whether it's quitting college, quitting the job, quitting a relationship, like a lot of those things, just quitting is a very valuable skill because quitting everything else gives you time to focus on the one thing you want to do.
Yeah, the advice is like a roadmap for like people to get ready and take charge of their own lives. I mean,
Right.
how important is it to you that you're chasing your dreams and how what are you chasing next for your big goals?
Big goals for sure is retiring my parents. Like, I don't want my mother working anymore. I don't want my father working anymore. and they both still do that. Although like I don't want to be too hard on myself. I'm only 19, but I want to retire my parents. I want to give them financial freedom. I'd say goal wise, the Miami Skyrise would be pretty fucking cool. I won't lie to you. The Miami Skyrise would be sick. And freedom, man. Freedom to do what I want, do as I please, and travel the world. I want to go to Thailand, train Muay Thai over there, and spend some time in Thailand, maybe Bangkok. I have a buddy who lives in Bangkok, like 4 hours from Bangkok. He loves it. So honestly, travel freedom, overall freedom, and the goal is to never stop. Goal is to never stop. Stay hungry. Donald Trump said it. The second someone retires, and that's when they start getting way older. So you stay young, you stay active. You're never gonna have a problem staying young. So the goal is to always find a new mountain to climb.
I love that. I love that, Jayden. I mean, you're being so young, who has been your biggest influence?
Oh, that's a great question. That's such a great question. Um, Biggest influence, Donald Trump's up there for sure. I've always looked up to Donald Trump, not only as an entrepreneur, as a president, as a role model. I've always personally liked Donald Trump. I have his book, Art of the Deal. Like, great guy. I've always looked up to Donald Trump. Besides Donald Trump, my grandfather growing up, he's not very materialistic. He's always kept me grounded. He lived very minimalist, but he's a strict Christian, good morals. He still works out at like 75 years old. He's always been an inspiration to me. Someone I always look up to. Jayden Pullin, great man, great man. I'd say those are two of some of my biggest inspirations. I've also really been watching a lot of Ben Bader recently. A guy I've always looked up to. I DM'd him a couple times. He's a really sick guy. His videos have always been pretty motivational, inspirational to me. So, but yeah, I'd say number one probably Donald Trump. I've always looked up to him.
No, no, I highly recommend to everyone go read all his books because he has a
Oh
great
yeah, oh
business
yeah,
mindset. Great business mindset. If you don't
absolutely.
like his policies and all that, I don't care. Go read his books and then come back to
Oh, I
me.
agree.
It's clear that you have the right people that are around you that making a big difference. Can I ask you this one? I mean, what does success mean to you?
That's a great question. What success means to me, although it's such a subjective term that can like mean a lot of different things to everyone. For me specifically, absolute freedom. Like I say, if on my deathbed I never got the Miami skyrise, I never got the fast cars, I never had an empire, a business empire that I planned to have. As long as I had freedom, as long as I went to the country I went to, as long as I asked that girl that I wanted to be with, I wasn't scared to ask the girl out. I wasn't scared to take the business deal. I wasn't scared to travel to that country. I wasn't scared to join the fight gym. I wasn't scared to join the military. I just took on, as long as freedom means being away from your fears. Like if your mind controls you, you're not free. Like I'd almost argue a strong mind inside of prison is gonna be more free than a clogged up mind out here in the real world. Like freedom to me is chasing what you want, not being scared to chase it. So if I can be on my deathbed, being like I absolutely lived life to the max. There's nothing more I could have done. That's freedom because that means my mind was free. That means my mind was free to chase what it wanted. Materialism and all this, like I can't bring it with me when I die. I can't bring this expensive shirt with me when I die. None of it matters. Freedom for my mind to chase what it wants. That's freedom.
I resonate with that because every day is Friday stands for freedom, and you only get so many summers in a lifetime, and that's the truth. I mean, what's one thing you hope people remember you by?
Oh, that's a very good question. Although I do want a lot of materialism, I I don't want to be remembered by the materialism. Although it's cool, it's whatever. I want to be remembered by how I inspired other people. Like I want other young men because I know a lot of people at 19 don't have their life as figured out as me. There's men at 25 who don't have it as figured out as me, or just like I was. I was a scrawny, 135-pound, 16-year-old who didn't know what he wanted to do. Long ass hair in my eyes, fucking shitty mustache, just eating fucking junk food every day. And I want at least to like some of those kids to say, I watched Jayden's video. I looked at his Instagram. I heard what he had to say and he got me off the couch and he got me chasing what I wanted to do. If I can do that for like hundreds of young men, that'd be absolutely awesome. And I want to be remembered as the guy who took the risk, never waited for anything, took what I wanted, and had absolutely everything I wanted. So that's what I want to be remembered by, probably.
I love it. I mean, you being so young, I know it's like I'm asking something, but I mean, what has been the biggest lesson you've learned in the past year?
Ooh, that's a very good one. That's a very good one. Let me think for a quick second on that one. That's an awesome question. I'd say the biggest thing I've learned is just because it's not, I think I posted this on Instagram. Just because it's not happening now doesn't mean it's not happening. Those 4 months of outreach I had for my business, I wasn't seeing immediate results, but eventually I fucked up so many times. If if you saw my DM from 3 months ago, you'd be like, this guy looks like some Indian scammer trying to text me right now. Like, that's what I looked like. I mean, my outreach was horrible. And eventually after 4 months, I landed a client, and I was like, oh shit, so those 4 months weren't for nothing. Although they felt, that's why a lot of entrepreneurs quit, because, with a job, you get an immediate paycheck. When you play a video game, you get a new level, you level up, you get immediate dopamine. Entrepreneurship, it's like, oh, you put all that work in? Cool, bro. Okay, and then you're sitting there like, oh shit, like this is scary. I need my instant gratification for doing all that work. And I spent 4 months without getting anything back, and then I realized it just gets stored and then comes out on the back end. So I'd say my biggest lesson is the energy just gets stored, put in the work, and by process of elimination, you're gonna mess up so many times. I don't care what business model, what job, this is universal in life. No matter how many times you mess up, eventually you're going to get it right. Just by the law of the universe, statistically, you got to get it right eventually. So just because it's not happening now doesn't mean it's not happening.
No, it's incredible how you're always growing and learning.
Exactly. Like, I'm sure I'm going to look back at this podcast a year from now and be like, that guy was like, fucking, what was he saying? So you're always learning, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, what's one habit or mindset that you made a big difference in your life?
Ooh, I'd say a good habit is I've had in my life is saying no and quitting. And quitting, like I said earlier, quitting the things that were not right for me, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a job, whether in my case that was school. I dropped out of school. Like, I noticed that, like, hey, fucking turning in report cards ain't gonna get me paid. I don't want to do school. So I dropped out of school, and saying no to a lot of things. You gotta say no to the drinking. You gotta say no to the drugs. I mean, you don't have to say no to that stuff. I'm sure there's rich people who drink, but like at such a young age like me, you gotta have some kind of advantage. And I think mine is being like completely straight edge and being able to say no to the partying. I gotta work a little bit better at saying no to the women. That's something disciplinary on my end. But in terms of drugs, alcohol, completely straight edge. So saying no and being able to quit the right things is definitely, I'd say, the skills that I possess very well that allows me to stay narrow and focused on my goal.
No, Jayden, your focus and mindset are really inspiring.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
No, it really is. I mean, what's one thing that you're most grateful for right now?
The thing I'm most grateful for is definitely my family. Like, I'm blessed. I have grandparents that are still alive. I have a mother. I have a father. Like, I know if for some reason my business went away today, I still have my family. I still have all limbs on me. There's a million kids in Africa or other parts of the world that would trade places with me right now. I got absolutely everything to be grateful for. Every business venture that fails just opens up an opportunity to try again or try something different. Every single relationship, every single thing in life that fails gives you an opportunity to try something new, try something better. So I'm absolutely grateful for 100% of my life. Whether I'm in the military, out in the wilderness, under a tarp, rain on me, and I hate my life. Like, I'm just grateful that it's raining, man. There's someone out there who wishes it would rain on them. So absolutely grateful for everything, man.
No, your gratitude is inspiring. I mean, it really is.
Thank
I
you.
mean,
Thank
what's
you.
what's the best piece of advice you ever received?
And the best piece of advice I've ever received. That's a very good question. That's a very good question. I think really good. I want to give the absolute best answer possible. I got like so many floating right now. Oh, the best advice I've ever received. Hmm. Okay, I think I have a pretty good one. I have a pretty good one. So I was like, yeah, had to have been like 17 or 18 at the time, and I was just I was just not happy with life. Like I hated where I was at. I hated being in school. I dropped out. I was working at Sonic, and the best advice I ever received, I don't really know if it was necessarily advice from someone, but it was a Stoic quote I read that if the situation doesn't suit you, leave. And that's part of the reason I saw those cars racing past me. I quit the fast food job. I quit a few other things. So that's probably the best kind of like advice I've ever read rather than kind of received. I read it. But that was absolutely the best advice. If the situation doesn't suit you, leave. Like Donald Trump even says in The Art of the Deal, you have no argument, you have no you have no leeway if you're not prepared to walk away and leave. So being able to say no and walk away and leave to everything in life is probably the best advice I've ever received.
I love that. I love that a lot. I mean, a lot of quotes, you can take a lot from it. I mean, and then one door
Absolutely.
closes, another one will open. I mean,
Absolutely.
can I ask you, like, what's a big mistake you've made that taught you a valuable lesson in business and if not life?
I'd say the biggest mistake I've made personally is like if not when, and my lack of impatience has served me very well in life and got me a lot farther than most men my age. But it's also kind of been a double-edged sword. I used to look at business a lot like, hey, where's the first paycheck I can get? How much money can I get? I didn't look at long term. I didn't look at, well, if I get equity or I get rev share from this dude's business, that'll serve me better in the long term. I was always like, I need that paycheck now. I think 50 Cent talks about it in his book. I don't know if you've ever read 50 Cent's book. It was an outstanding book. He talks about that. And that was the mistake I was making as an entrepreneur and in life. I was rushing absolutely everything. I needed it now, and I was willing to work hard for it. And the second I saw like an instant paycheck, I was like, man, like, oh, me 5 months ago, 6 months ago, I would have took the 10 grand up front rather than like 100 grand over like 2 years. Like I wanted it now. And I didn't, now I look at business a lot more like, okay, yeah, maybe the beginning is the most ideal thing ever. Maybe I'm not getting paid right now what I want. Maybe if I'm the copywriter starting out and I got to work for free for this dude, but man, this dude's a multimillionaire. Like I'm getting commission based, and I know for a fact I'm gonna get a percentage of his income, and it's gonna turn around later. You gotta look past the right now, what you're gonna make now, and look at the big picture and like, okay, I can end up making some serious money if I just get around the money for free, blow them away with free work. Like, oh my, that I need this guy, become a necessity to their business, and then they're gonna have no choice but to pay you. So not worrying about the paycheck up front, worrying about the long term investment, which I feel like a lot of young entrepreneurs and a lot of young people don't do. Something I wasn't doing. I'm glad I caught that at 19. I read that from 50 Cent's book, actually. I'm so glad I read that because it totally changed my mindset. And I was making that mistake with my outreach on business calls. I would try to pitch people for like, fair amounts for the work I was doing, but who am I, I mean, I didn't have the testimonials. I didn't have proof that I'm good at what I do. So who am I to ask as much as I was asking? If I would have proved myself first, if I would have took the lesser deal first, it would have paid off on the back end. So serious mistake I was making, just so focused on the instant cash and instant gratification and always just trying to rush things.
Yeah, learning from your mistakes. It really shows that your strength and your growth throughout your journey.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, what do you wish you knew before you started your business?
Oh, what do I wish I knew? I see the biggest thing I wish I knew is that it would pay off eventually. I always knew that, but I feel like my mind would be more at ease about the guarantee. Like, oh, Jay, like telling me 6 months ago when I'm like spamming outreach and not getting any responses, like, hey, Jade, bro, it's gonna be all right. Just keep going. Just keep doing it. Like, if I just kind of knew like where it could actually go, it's so weird because it's like a stairwell almost, and you gotta take that next step, but like you have no idea what the next step is. If like my client Robert that I still work with till this day, me and him have a great relationship. If I would have known that doing work that I really wasn't happy with the pay at first would lead to him referring me to clients that paid me very handsomely, I'll say that. I never knew that would happen. So if I just knew to trust the process and stop having a picture image of how things are supposed to go, because you have this picture image of, oh, like my business is going to work this way or my podcast is going to work this way, and then it doesn't, and you're like, oh, shit. And it's like, I tell younger me to like just trust the process. It's going to work out. It ain't going to work out in the way you're picturing, and you probably have zero clue. You couldn't even guess how it's going to work out, but it's going to work out.
No, I love it. Trust the process, and it's really just putting one foot in front of the other and stacking those small wins on
Absolutely.
top of each other. You're not going to hit that big win right off the bat. No one's out there, hitting, grand slams, first time up. It's rare, but it's really just putting your foot on the pedal and just grinding it out. I mean, what goals do you have currently working towards right now in your life or business?
I actually have them written on that whiteboard back there. I'd say short term. The 10 grand a month mark, which I plan on hitting within the next 6 months, is definitely what I want to hit. That's every entrepreneur's dream. Oh, the 10 grand a month mark. Like that's like the mark everyone talks about. So hitting the 10 grand a month mark would be absolutely awesome. That's a goal of mine. Building my personal brand a lot more. I want to start actually uploading like copywriting and marketing content on my YouTube channel a lot more. Building a personal brand, helping out the guy who was my age at one time, 19, 17, 18, 16, maybe even fucking 27, whatever it may be. Help him motivate him, keep him disciplined, whether that's working out, military lifestyle, entrepreneurship, stuff of that nature. So that's my short-term goals, build my personal brand. Um, I'm not even trying to be like a one-size-fits-all kind of person either. Like, you're either going to love me or you're going to hate me. I have my opinions. I speak them, I guess. So I'm just going to be me, have my own personal brand, start that, as well as hit that 10K per month mark. I want to go back to Miami soon. I love Miami. So I want to spend like a couple weeks in Miami after a training event I have here in a couple months. So short-term goals, probably that. Long-term goals, retire my parents, become a multi-millionaire before 25, and definitely the Miami Skyrise, maybe a Chevrolet Corvette. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, what has been the most rewarding part of your journey so far?
Definitely the connections I've made, the people I've had the pleasure of meeting, whether that's my clients, other entrepreneurs. You just meet so many amazing people, even in the military, because in the military, you're all confined in this one place, and there's so many people from all walks of life. Whether they're absolute weirdos, you get those fair share. The coolest guys you've ever met, like whether that's in the military or in business, like the second you get out of your hometown and you try something like that, you just meet the most amazing people, and they teach you so much. One of the people I served in the military with, like I was always a firm believer that there was a God out there, but it took like me meeting someone during infantry school while in the military who like actually made me more of a Christian, taught me about God. We were talking about God every day together, and he made me more of a Christian. And I never would have met that dude had I not joined the military. In terms of business, I mean, I have people that I can call right now and just have a one-on-one conversation like a bro to. Never would have met that dude had it not been for business. So the people you meet is absolutely the most rewarding thing. You can't pay for that, you know.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Something on the show I say a lot is it's all about the journey, not the destination, but it's the personal development throughout the journey. It's the person you become.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I mean, how do you celebrate your successes, small or big wins?
But it was like I kind of go like all or nothing. So I'll go 4 months of strict grinding, and then I'll spend like a grand in a weekend. So I'll go 4 months grind, and then a weekend will come. And I'll be like, "Ah, fuck it, I'll drop like 1.5 grand here. I'll drop two here, and then I'll go like another 4 months, super strict, super straight and narrow. So I usually celebrate it pretty big, but I just usually celebrate it with more work. And then if something cool comes up, a friend of mine, Joshua Myers, he's into the crypto game, into the trading game. He does personal coaching, great guy. Yeah, I think he bought me my first cigar I ever smoked after I closed my first client. So I'm not big into like smoking or anything. I don't personally do any of that, but I had like one cigar as like celebration. To a lot of people, it's like not a big deal, but I was, I don't smoke at all, so fuck it, I'll do it. And that was super cool. So I usually celebrate pretty small with my inner circle, and I kind of reflect on it. And sometimes a random month after I've gone 7 months without doing anything, I'll pick up a chick, or like I'll spend like fucking hella money in town. Like I'll figure out something to do.
No, it's important to pause and appreciate the milestones along the way, you know?
Absolutely.
With the people that, are there on your side. I mean, there's a lot of people that come into your life and they leave and they're back in, or some people are in your life for a reason, some are for just a season. You know how it is.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. It's interesting, isn't it?
Oh, it's fascinating how life like goes like that, you know. Like I said, like it's one foot in front of the other, and some people just open up and they're there with you, and then they're gone the next minute, and it's like eventually they come back. They're always the best way you can actually like get revenge on someone is success.
Absolutely. Have you kind of done that yourself with the whole podcast and like you're interviewing Dan Severn, like fucking UFC legends, like Like, there's got to be people like in your past that you're looking at now, and you're like, they're definitely looking at you and be like, damn, he's fucking running a podcast now, he's killing it. And they got to be like, damn, I kind of like missed. I kind of regret the fact that I was only in his life for a couple seasons, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's completely true. I mean, if you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Um, yeah, I definitely tell my younger self. Hmm. I'd say the younger self of me that's like kind of undisciplined, kind of out of shape, skinny, um, not really doing much with his life. The best piece of advice I give him is like, you know, eventually you're gonna be a man one day. Eventually you're gonna have a son of your own, a daughter of your own, a wife, and look at your fucking self, dude. Like if your future kid could see you right now, skinny as fuck, 135 pounds, soaking wet, like you're fucking sitting on your fucking couch playing PlayStation. Like, does your son want to look at that? Like, truthfully, like I want to be someone my son looks up to. Like, I don't want my son to look up to like Superman or any of that shit. Like, I want him to look up to his father. I want his father to be like the absolute best man to walk the face of the earth. I want his mother to be the absolute best man on the face of the earth, physically, fighting ability, money ability. I want to be well rounded. I tell my younger self, it's like, if your fucking future son could see you right now, is he gonna be proud of his father? Or what I mean, I'd probably tell myself that, and then try to motivate myself, get off the couch a little bit, probably.
No, thinking about the legacy is a great reminder of just trying to achieve with the bigger picture mindset.
Absolutely, because you look at a lot of kids, you can usually like look at their parent and be like, okay, that's how that kid's gonna be. You know what I mean? It's like you see the father who has his life squared away, his son's usually squared away. I don't know if you saw Arnold Schwarzenegger's one son lived with him, the other son lived with the mother, and his this son that lived with him was super jacked, super in shape, and the other one, all due respect, was fat as fuck, like slob. And it's like it goes to show like you're literally a direct reflection of who you like were raised by, and I want my kids to be nothing but the best, not like a push them or like force them in anything kind of way, but just more so like they just have a natural example to go by.
No, that's completely true. You got to lead by example for just not, your kids, but everyone, everyone's looking at
Absolutely.
you on social media and everywhere in your family, your friends, they're all looking at you like, "Oh man, we're going to try to do what he's doing," or something like that because it's always people are always watching you and seeing what you're doing and what's next, and you can't really like judge people by, the cover. It's about, what's on the inside that really matters at the end of the day. I mean, I know you started. I was looking at your Instagram a little bit, and what inspired you to start training in like, is it kickboxing or fighting or what type of Muay
Uh,
Thai?
I did jiu-jitsu for like 3 years. Kickboxing, I've only done so much kickboxing, so I wouldn't even call myself a practitioner of it. But what really got me into it was I was a super big fan of like UFC and fighting. Like I never watched football, I never watched basketball, any of that growing up. I was always a super big fan of fighting. And my very first training session ever was actually with Sean O'Malley, fucking the UFC champ, which is like a pretty fucking crazy first like session ever in fighting. And after that, I was kind of hooked. I was like, this is what I want to do. I really love grappling, especially I kind of found like a natural tendency towards grappling. So I started doing jiu-jitsu not, I wouldn't say pretty regularly, but it was definitely a hobby of mine that I indulged in pretty frequently. So just a lot of jiu-jitsu. I love watching the sport. Since things have been so busy in life, I watch it a lot less, but I always try to watch like grappling matches. I love watching Muay Thai. That's the main reason I want to move to Thailand. And I'm just a big fan of the sport, and I love the art of fighting. It's amazing.
Yeah, what's one of the biggest lessons you've learned from that?
It's actually very similar to business. You're gonna walk into the gym, you're gonna get tapped out every day, you're gonna get beat up every day, and eventually, I think when I went to my gym was actually pretty decent. They had like a dude on the Contender Series. Dana White like it was a pretty decent gym. They had like Justin Gaethje's grappling coach there at one point. So I'll walk in that gym, and there's just like blue belts or just fucking tap me out every day, and it was so I had a girl tap me out, dude. I was like 15, and then this girl tapped me out, dude. I got in the car after that, and I was like, fuck. So I knew I had to lock in. I just kept going to the gym. I just kept going, kept going, kept going. Eventually, I started like getting tapped. It took a lot longer to tap me out. Eventually, I was actually like locking in chokes on people. I was fucking, shooting doubles, and like I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting it now. Same thing with business. You just go in there, fail a lot, so you eventually do it. So that really taught me early on, even before the military, even before business, that like you just gotta fail so much just by natural law of the universe of when it's supposed to happen.
No, it's amazing how physical training can teach mental toughness and discipline.
There's scientific proof that like mental strain from like hard physical labor, like anything hard in life, like builds calluses in your brain and makes you actually mentally stronger. Like it's proven to do that. So it's amazing the science behind it.
Well, what's next for you, and how can the audience support you in your journey?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Next for me, I want to start uploading a lot regularly for my personal brand, start posting, fitness content, military content, posting on my YouTube. You can find me, Jayden Pullin. I post entrepreneurship. I post pretty much regular videos on copywriting, digital marketing. Anyone who's my age who feels stuck right now, they actually want to start something like that. I literally have videos documenting my journey, practical advice, stuff of that nature. You can also, I have a newsletter in the links of my bios for my YouTube videos. You can sign up to my newsletter. I drop like weekly emails, just different advice. You basically get all my failures because I'm only 19. I'm going to fail a lot after this. I don't have it all figured out. Like every nice thing you see on my Instagram, I either rented or like I don't personally own. Like I'm very minimalist in reality. So I don't have it all figured out yet. So what that means is by watching my content, by joining my newsletter, they get to see the mistakes that I make so they don't have to make those themselves. And they also get the wins. So they can literally just copy me. That's what I've done for a lot of people. I just look at people who are winning and I just copy them. And I'm like, oh, I end up in the same place as them. Awesome. So they can find me on Instagram, Jayden Pullin. They can find me on YouTube, same exact name. And you'll just see me constantly posting, updating the lifestyle. And like I said, anyone who wants to join the journey, any young men out there, you want to start a side hustle, maybe you want to get into copywriting, you don't have a lot of money to spend on drop shipping, you don't understand crypto and stocks, you don't have money to blow on that to hope you get a return on your investment. You want to start something that takes zero startup costs, and you can literally start with Google Docs and your laptop. So you can definitely follow me for that.
Jayden, your story is incredible. You have any shout outs you want to shout out?
Brother. I would absolutely love to shout out. So I want to shout out Robert, amazing guy, killing the YouTube game. I also want to shout out my boy Josiah Myers. He literally found me in a bookstore when I was like a lonely entrepreneur, barely up on my 2 feet. I was depressed as fuck every day. Nothing was working for me. And I credit me not quitting a lot to him. He motivated the hell out of me. He's the one who bought me my first cigar when I closed the client. He's been an absolute friend and mentor for me. He's a Marine as well. Any of you guys who want to actually get into the trading game, who want to be mentored, be coached, you can follow him on Instagram as well. Josiah Myers, absolute killer. So those are probably my shout outs.
Well, thank you for sharing your journey and your valuable lessons with us. I mean, to the listeners,
problem,
remember, go chase your dreams because your dreams will not chase you.
Not when.
Yes, that's true. I love it. I love it. And to all the listeners, until next time.
Absolutely. See you, man.
Baby.